way, I just don't like being interrupted. If I don't treat you a certain way, I'm a golden rule type of guy. And so I let you talk, and I'm asking for the same respect. If you don't have that ability, that's why I don't talk to you often.
You don't need to. I'm not sitting around waiting for you to talk.
You were. You begged for this interaction, and now we're here. You literally begged. I said, hey, Norm, I don't want to talk to you because you're not going to be fair in the conversation. So I'm asking for you to hang on. I'm not going to hear you. We're just going to keep talking and ruin the room now. Because I really did try, Norm. I really did try.
Please don't whine.
No, I'm not whining. This is not funny.
I stated your ability of armed conflict between nations, states, or parties.
Okay, so now when I talk about interrupting? So now when I talk about interrupting, or is it like,
so look here, so pick up any dictionary and read me a definition. Any dictionary.
I already did that.
No, you did.
I did actually. You were busy yapping.
No, I wasn't. I'm listening closely. What dictionary? I asked you what dictionary. You wouldn't answer. What dictionary?
I don't know what dictionary.
You don't have a dictionary?
You have a dictionary open right now?
Yes, I just opened the American Heritage Dictionary, opened it and read you the definition of
and I said that definition, by the way.
Okay, so is Hamas a party?
I think Hamas is a group.
Okay, so then it's war. Next question.
So then the question remains, if you are fighting any group, is it warfare if all acts within that conflict justified by the nature of being warfare?
Never said any of that.
Well, then that's
I beg your pardon.
I said it was a genocide. You said it wasn't.
No, well, that's a separate
I
question.
would recall it as genocide, and I would recall it so I couldn't.
I thought that was premature for a second. I thought it was Phil. Like Phil, you can call it.
Okay, so now we understand that Israel is at war with Hamas, which was kind of obvious, so it's a little silly to protest.
No, I don't think we understand that. We do understand that
We don't understand it?
No.
Okay. Which part of the definition of war was not met?
Well, because I don't think the stated. I think if you use the stated, if you use statements that come from people that are prosecuting for war, you can easily argue that the intent is not to have it war with Hamas, but instead to exile, cleanse, and eradicate that region of Palestine.
And yet nobody has done that. Really?
There's already estimates from Harvard. They say 377,000 citizens have been killed. I don't know if that number.
Well, I don't know where would Harvard get that information?
They use some technology to be able to mark footprints in the region through GPS mapping. So the estimate is around 377.
Okay, so it sounds like they made it up. It sounds like you made it up.
So the question from you is, what amount of citizens could die for you to be like, oh, it was genocide? Like, how much would it be okay for you to be like, okay, that was genocide? How many citizens could die in Gaza? Okay, maybe that was genocide.
How many of them were combatants?
The 377 was civilians.
Well,
There's only 20,000. There's only 20,000 Hamas agents in Gaza. So
how do you know that? Where'd you get that number from?
Israel.
Really?
Yeah.
From Haaretz?
Yep.
Where'd they get their number from?
I don't know. You have to look at the article.
I don't know.
30 to 50.
I don't know.
Generally, how many?
I don't know. I don't know where the West Bank is, but I got opinions.
I know where the West Bank is. No, how many millions?
You didn't know who was in charge of the West Bank when they invaded Israel.
There was no disagreement over who runs portions of the West Bank, Israel, and who runs Palestine.
Well, you said it was occupied, but you thought it was a country.
The West Bank is occupied. The West Bank is occupied by Israel.
Which part?
The part that is currently occupied by Israel. But
which part is that?
Section B of the part known as the West Bank is occupied by Israel.
Sure. It's known as Judea and Samaria. It was named the West Bank by...
You just said what's on the West Bank and now you
It was named the West Bank by Jordan. And as I told you before, it is governed by a treaty known as the Oslo Accord, signed by both parties. How can that be an occupation?
Well, like we have a administrative stuff.
It's the Oslo Accord.
Yeah, and so have the Palestinians.
No.
And so both parties have violated.
Initially and unilaterally violated within settlements over 700,000 settlements that have been built.
There are not 700,000 settlements.
Over 700,000
There are not
settlements. Over 700,000 settlements
How many were there at the time?
built in the West Bank and East
Do you take them
You're a
from
liar.
settlements?
I don't know how like, you have to agree to tell me.
You say that these rebels.
It's not even like, it's not even like,
Hang on, the previous president. Did you say there were
700,000 settlements.
Oh, okay. So how many settlers were there at the time Oslo was signed?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're talking about the violation of a treaty. Let's go back to the foundation.
So
Israel by itself unilaterally violated Article 31 of
I
the
tell the unilateral.
Yes, unilaterally, because no side by itself is supposed to change the status of the territory. Israel had to do that initially. Palestine or Hamas
They did it
responds.
initially.
Yeah.
Okay.
Israel initiates it. Israel initiates it. Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. Is the Intifada a
We're not
violation?
talking about the Intifada. We're talking about how Israel violated Article 31 of the Oslo Accord. I'm not talking about the Intifada. That's what you're talking about when articulate. I'm talking about Article 31 of the Oslo Accord. I'm talking about Article 31 of the Oslo Accord.
Yeah. Happened first. The Intifada or the settlements, if you know.
what does that have to do with what's happening now? You're saying that anything, you're saying that anything will action for that.
You said unilateral. That means no one denied it. But the Intifada was a violation that happened first. So it wasn't unilateral, it was bilateral violation. Yeah. Like killing Israeli civilians. Yeah. What's wrong? What's wrong about it? What's wrong? Tell me what was wrong about what I said. Well, let's get in. Maybe that's not a violation of Oslo.
No, I think the argument is just claiming that they expanded settlements during Oslo, whereas they violated the Oslo.
Right.
Why are you lying?
So the Palestine said it was bilateral.
Bilateral mean that they literally at the exact same time violated Oslo. Something happened.
No, actually the Palestinians violated it first.
So the Palestinians violated before the expansion into the West Bank?
Yes, that's correct, sir.
Okay, can you show me evidence of that? There was no settlements?
Yes.
Show me
I
the
will tell you.
started.
I will tell you exactly when. I'm happy to tell you exactly when the second Intifada genocide began and its relationship to Oslo. First, let's look up together when was Oslo signed. December 13, 1993. Now let's look up when did the second Intifada begin. September 28, 2007.
Palestinians reacting to settlement expansion, like Israel has been engaging in years of aggression and occupation, and when the Palestinians respond, you apply an asymmetrical war. No, you apply an asymmetrical war to those involved. Yes, you did. Yeah. Oh, yes, you are. Because you say that the second Intifada violated the Oslo Accord.
Yeah, but it's going back to the 70s. They were showing
But you completely ignore all of the acts of aggression that the Israeli government engaged in over the years. Then why are you bringing up occupied people's responsive violence as if it's symmetrical to a country that is backed by the global hegemon? That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
Wait a second. What is occupied, sir? Which part is occupied? And when is it occupied?
The West Bank was occupied in 1977, for instance.
No, that's not
You don't want to talk about it.
That's not the question. I'm asking the other person.
You said, when did they, Oslo was in 1967, right?
Let's run over this.
Oslo was 1967, right?
I beg your pardon?
We agree that Oslo was 1967, right?
No, that is incorrect. That is when the Yom
It is not a settled question whether the Intifada violates Oslo. It's not a settled question.
You don't think genocide is a violation of Oslo? Okay.
I don't think
comfortable with genocide.
genocide.
I'm not comfortable with genocide. I'm not comfortable with the genocide of your people.
I don't think being genocided and responding to entrapment and all other acts of aggression. I don't think that that's the same.
Okay, so I never said it was the same.
It's implied. It's implied. It's implied by the things you cherry pick. It's implied by the moral way you assign it. Yes, it is. It's all implied. Shot through. Yeah.
You are inferring mistakenly from
No, I'm not. I'm not mistaken about anything.
You're mistaken about what you just inferred from my words. I'm correcting you. So I will say to you, when was the so-called West Bank made by a colonial power? Sure. When was it occupied? If you know.
What did it mean? West Bank was a...
I'm asking the... Hang on. I'm asking the other fellow. When was
Somebody can ask.
Oh, well, you're going to change the subject. I'm asking the other fellow who inferred incorrectly from my very carefully worded statement.
Yeah, but that person says to the question, so why can't you ever answer the question?
You notice how quiet you got when I asked you a question? When was it?
Talking about anything. What are you talking about? I don't care what you admit or what you said. You're wrong.
But you don't care what I said. You're just going to make it
Yeah,
up.
you're wrong. But you're wrong.
What am I wrong about? What am I wrong about?
Israel violated the Oslo Accord.
As did
Unilaterally.
as did the Palestinians. No, unilaterally means one side.
Yeah. The settlements, they violated the settlements.
Yeah, and so did the terrorists.
No, the settlements were before. No, the settlements were before Palestinians.
Were before the Palestinians.
The West Bank.
What settlement?
Why are you asking
Settlements go back to...
Because I am pointing out how you are either mistaken or lying or accusing.
You should do that instead of asking dumb questions. Prove where I'm wrong. You want settlements? What settlements? There are settlements. Settlement Watch. There are global organizations that track all of them.
Okay.
There's settlements. Yeah.
Yes. And
As part of Israel's violent expansion policy, which is why
violent.
Yes.
What is violent? How much is this really?
Why are you asking what kind of Do you have an argument? You have a counter argument?
How dumb
You have no. You should prove that through a counter argument.
I did.
You're just asking stupid
I
questions.
said genocide was a violation of Oslo. You disagreed.
What are you talking
So
about?
the duty to not expand the settlements, right, does not stem from Oslo Accords. It stems from Geneva Convention.
Oh,
Right. That's the definition of movement.
so the Oslo Accords were not agreed.
That's their occupied territories. Oslo has nothing to do with this. This is why settlement expansion is reversed to be condemned even by these occupiers.
So I hate it.
Yeah, I guess. One is worth about it.
Yeah, I still don't understand why, how come they're not giving us more details about the Minnesota couple, the politicians who were assassinated? Like, I feel like I didn't get enough information about them.
Well, they had that film.
I know.
You did close
I don't know the backstory at all.
that.
You're talking about the Soviet members, Congressman.
Yeah, I mean, like, they said, like, he impersonated a police officer, went to house, killed them. But, like, why don't we know more?
Because the right can't politicize it, that's what. Right, the list.
Oh, well, here we go. I don't even want to. I hate to empower this narrative, but fine. We're going to put it out there.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
I know it. I'm just saying, we had this conversation yesterday, so I'm just going to read what it says. This man, he's giving his testimony. So he says, so the title is America Describes His Town After Ice Raids. And the man who's speaking is called Black Man's Plot 2.0. a few days after ICE. So he says, in 1 week, I have seen in my city black men power washing parking lot.
That incredible. Got the whole thing recorded. Just like John Kitover on YouTube right now. How you doing, John? Watching you on YouTube, brother. See you on Anonymous. Here, 1 second over your eye to the lips. Or the guy in the middle. We can see you Anonymous on YouTube. We've got all your channels.
When I first was talking to see
You can go back to the days. Do you really think that, like, there would be no way?
Hang on a second. We were talking about you killing babies, sir. Let's not form out of that. We were talking about you, particularly vegan, killing babies in the Intifada. In fact, killing babies in a genocide during the Intifada. That's what we were talking about. Did you lose track of our conversation?
No one asked the question, then you go back to like.
Okay, so you want to go back to killing Jews in a genocide? Or do you want to back away
I
from
would like
that?
to go back to the conversation we were all trying to have.
Well, we were trying to have it.
Drinking child blood on stage.
Yes, I don't think you should do that, by the way. But if you like the taste of Jewish blood, then you're going to have to live with yourself.
Sure, every one of us.
Oh, no, I'm blood. Well, wait, one of us just said they were agnostic on the subject of genocide against the
So
Jews.
I'm agnostic on the subject of how many civilians are qualified as like.
We never discussed that.
I didn't give you a finish saying what I discussed. Just make sure
You're talking
you asked me if the reason I was pro or anti-Intifada was
I asked you how you were on suicide bombings of Israeli citizens. And you said you're agnostic on the suicide bombings of Israeli citizens.
I'm becoming worried about you actually. I don't know. I don't think the worry, I mean, maybe you should left this in the country.
I don't know. He's making it work.
Just keep quiet. I think I'm looking to you. Hold on. Articulate, hold on.
Yeah, we want you to stop, but
Hold on. Yeah, no, this has not yet done. We're not in the same line. I'm just saying.
on the same page.
2 days ago, some leftist Marxists said that the intermediate school speaks a range of anger, balls, and feeling.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. That's what he's doing.
Can I finish articulate? This reminds me of the way Roger of Healthy Debate used to go at Dr. Copeland. Roger faced that guy with more than a death. If Roger sees Dr. Copeland, he might kill him. I am becoming worried. I mean, serious to go. I don't know, you should think about it. I mean, it's not that deep. And you can go and articulate.
Thank you.
This is becoming ridiculous. I was in a room with him. I was in a room we were talking about schools. Right? And I said, like, why schools being mentioned here? I just said, like, you know, that doesn't concern me. And then
It's the most emotional I've ever heard, though. It really is the most emotional. He hates Bernie, and anything
nothing
that's
wrong
Bernie
with
said,
hating Bernie. Nothing wrong with it. I don't like Bernie too. I think
he doesn't control you. You can't. I don't like Bernie for the same reasons Bill doesn't. But you can't let me feel where anybody that sounds like Bernie is now a racist, radical like this is trying to kill people.
okay. Somebody said in the room that intermediate says we go to speak. Who's this here?
I don't know. He's bullying me.
Who's bullying you?
No, he's bullying leftists. They don't know everything.
You know?
No bully. He's been bullying kids for 6 days because they're happy about my time.
I don't know how that is bullying you on this app. Like, that's
How can you be bullied? You have a job in a house and a happy wife.
what does that mean?
It means you can just try to have love. People who are like, they're acting out online, are just like this.
Stop giving them, I'm not putting them back. I became my boss, I became radicalized, so I don't get to say, anyway, you cannot just stop it.
No, you don't. You can't be radicalized by people who are now online. But I do wonder if there's some, like, if you don't have like a personally, racially oppressed people in the world, wouldn't you also think Citizens United is like somehow like the worst thing ever? Because they had, if you were white in America in 1960, you really didn't think it could happen. In 1970, you thought, well, the vote mattered. But to them, it's like, well, nobody's vote matters now. That's how they feel. Like, I forget what the study said, who did the study. They said that the determining factor in which elections is largely based on where the lobby of people is. And I'm only saying that there's exceptions to that. But that's generally speaking the case.
It is not.
I'll look at the study.
Do you support the United States revoking visas of people who shout threats to ideas?
Do I revoke United States revoking the visas of who?
People who shout threats to the idea.
She said, do you support, not do you revoke?
I can listen to that guy's album.
No. Do I support revoking the visas of people who shout? No, I don't support revoking visas for speech. No, I do not.
That's surprising.
Why would it be surprising?
I really didn't think you would say that. Out of all people on this app,
People don't think or know me very well or understand me or something.
so
If they make material actions in support of terrorist groups, yes. If they lie on their visa applications, yes, which is a violation of It's actually in the visa application if you lie to people.
what's in the material act? What if you said that?
Anything you do physically to support a terrorist material action or material support,
That'd be the Muslim, that'd be Palestine.
Palestinians are not a terrorist group.
I mean, I'm not saying it's like they are.
I'm sorry, no, that's not accurate. Don't change the subject. We're talking now about
They're not wrong way to support women and children.
well, if you're asking me if in of the 100 wars happening right now, women and children die in war, of course. Why would Israel be different? You think we have special things that don't kill people who are not women and children? By the way, are women and children sometimes used as weapons of war by Hamas? Yes, there's a UN report about it. So it doesn't make them exempt. It doesn't mean
Explain what that means.
I remember, so are you saying now that if I shout in Palestine, do you free Palestine, I'll be my visa not be revoked? I'll be given an American.
will not or should not. It won't be.
Well, there are people whose visas have been revoked for shouting free Palestine, for writing off peace.
Well, okay, that's not shouting free Palestine. And I said that if you like material support to a terror group or an enemy in the United States, or if you lie on your visa application, or if you commit crimes such as harassment or trespass or vandalism, those are material acts. They fall into a different category than the First Amendment expression of freedom of speech. So I'm also yelling
Something like how the Israeli government vandalizing Palestinian homes during the peace process.
Oh, I'm not asking that. We'll have to see. But again, that would only mean that their visa. We'll have to. Since they're not in the United States,
We'll have to see.
We'll have to see the validity of your claim. But we're just looking for reputation
How would we see that?
by examining the factual or lack of factual substance of your claim.
Dead bodies.
What dead body?
So,
Wait. What dead body?
no, I was just
You don't know.
So,
You're just throwing words out. You sound like a vaccine nut too. One of those vaccine nuts. Are you a vaccine nut?
Absolutely, I have a vaccine. I took a vaccine and I like to bust it up.
No, you like to bust a nut. Well, that's good information to have.
Well, good for you.
Under what circumstances?
Anything involving your mother. Check this out.
Okay, so you know her.
No, but
Would you like to be introduced? She's old.
nah, hell.
You like old Jewish ladies? Well, then why did you say that? It was careless of you, wasn't it?
No, I just don't like shit.
You shouldn't be careless when you speak to me. Stay.
Am I supposed to be intimidated?
Not at all. You should be careful.
I can never be. Intimidated.
You should never be careful or intimidated about raping my mother. Really? And you're the victim in that conversation? What do you know? What do you know? You threatened to rape my mother and you're the victim. Amazing. I'm sorry now. I didn't mean to victimize you when you threatened to rape my mom. Huh? I am. When the word came out of your mouth, it's not mine. I don't know.
Hold on, can we move on?
I don't was. But I was like, you know, the white guys leaving black folks out of the union. Y'all did that on purpose because it became like a social club. And you see this guy talking about you had to know somebody and be connected to get on the crew. Exactly. And if you were not connected, you were left out. So a lot of black men and women were not even included in the union. That was the battle. And then the Mexicans came, right? And undercut, you know, like these corporations, they're just greedy. So, okay, fine, they came, they undercut you, and now you mad, and now you looping black folks into your nonsense.
Exactly, that's it, guys. I mean, it's funny because you just say describe the level situation experiences today. I was in the elevator, and this middle-aged white guy, I mean, he was talking to another guy in the elevator, and he was saying, you know, I've been looking for a job for months, and, you know, this and the thing, and blah, 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 whatever. And it was like, yeah, it's a combination of things. So the other guy was saying, he was like, yeah, I mean, it's not even just the tariffs, and, you know, I mean, all this changing, but it's the AI. I mean, so I started laughing. I was like, yeah, that's how inflation works. So I mean, don't blame AI, don't blame immigrants, blame capitalism.
Yeah, I mean, these people are all in this thread, like, yay, America's finally working for Americans again. Okay, y'all, okay. I'm so sure.
People always looking for somebody else. Yeah, all this.
What was the question?
What was you doing first, Licky? Okay.
And she has to pay for that CH plus supplement.
Yes.
Well, I mean, I can't put it on your tag, right? You like that,
What'd you say, love?
I said, I can put it on his tag. He said, I gotta pay for the plus. I said, I can't put it on his tag.
Exactly.
I'm like, come on, sis, what you doing? What's that?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so,
These people are here lying to themselves. They talk about Americans have always wanted jobs. These jobs, any jobs.
Mr. Michael Johnson, come on up. Mr. Michael Johnson, come on up. No union. I don't know what that is against.
Let me read this.
I tried.
Let me read this.
No union is against Trump. What you saying, Michael? Michael Johnson, come on up. Pull up.
Union members supported Trump.
Somebody invite him.
I guess I don't think he wants to come up. I guess he's saying Trump is against the government. Generally, it's true because Joe Biden is for Joe Biden is right for and he gets into organized labor.
Get on stage, guys. You don't want it on stage.
Oh, all right, go ahead.
Oh, Mel got the power.
Hey, guys, up here. How y'all doing?
What are you doing, Michael? You drive the truck.
I'm working on a machine right now. I'm working my man right now.
All right, look, we love a working man now. Okay.
She gave it because she had raised your hand and come up, and I set down the carpet freezer, and you did not come up, and then I saw you chat and tweet in a chat, so I just maybe I can make it easier so I can understand what you're saying.
Definitely, thank you for that. Set that secure value and exactly everything going on. Yeah, but I've been a union member for 23 years in the streets, and I've been black folks in it. Every young black man I've seen is doing like little odd jobs and they ain't going nowhere. I'm always trying to get in. But what I've done is a lot with our youth is like once we get in, it's no joke. You gotta show up. You gotta be there. You gotta learn. You gotta do all the things that, you know, if your mind ain't ready, it's gonna work out very well for you. Very cutthroat business trade. Really wanted to trade for me. I just gravitated to it, learned it really well. Running jobs since my second year in the trade. Now I'm the general foreman of the company. I'm an instructor at the Union Hall, and there's a bunch of minorities in there, but they're legal.
But it's not like there's a bunch of illegal minorities in the trades. That's not how it works. But in Florida, for instance, like with Trump, they're against the union and all that stuff. So they're going into it, oh, everybody make money. You don't have to be a part of an organization. But what that does, that kills the income for the actual workers themselves. So in Florida, they probably make a quarter in California. California and New York were the highest paid in HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and all that stuff as far as those sides of the trade. Easily you get 200,000 if you want to work.
Yeah.
And it just shows the fact that, like, in those states where Republicans are running, they're trying to kill off people's name with that because now they got to conform to what we demand on the union side. And then the Democrats kind of get the votes from the unions in order to give us what we want. Kind of like what black folks should be doing, you know? Hey, if you want our votes, you got to give us something. As far as giving minorities, not like